Hey YouTube, just showing you our whole house filter, and we're gonna switch it out. So you can see here what I've used. The water comes in from the street, comes to the house here. So this is 1-inch copper, and so all the water that comes into the house, even before it goes to the sink, that bathroom, the shower, that toilet, it goes through this. So the outside irrigation only does that one out there. So they're split, so this only filters water coming into the house. It's only the 10-inch, the big blue, right? Obviously it's a big clear. In case you're trying to figure out what to buy, this is the Whirlpool. I got it at Lowe's. It was about 80 bucks. You see the model number there? There you go. WHKF-DWHBB. It's wearing off. And I'll be replacing the filter with this Pentair. It's a Pentec. There's the model. And this one is actually a 50 micron pre, 5 micron post. You can feel it. The outside here is really soft. You can see my finger squishes in. And the inside here, the 5 micron, is very, very firm. I always label it with some masking tape. New 8/15, so August 15th. Changed by 2 of 2016, so I'm a few months past that. I haven't noticed a flow reduction. And this is actually an activated charcoal one. I wanted to try that out, see if I noticed any difference versus just a sediment. No, I did not. And obviously, always on hand, I've got my filter wrench, and I always have a spare O-ring. So today on Amazon, I ordered this guy. I think it was about 17 bucks, and a spare gasket was about 5 bucks. So less than 25 bucks for this guy. It's amazingly cheap, and it's amazing. This used to be white, just like that. What a trip! And it obviously keeps us all of my shower heads and everything great. And we have very hard water here in Southern California. Okay, I'm gonna hit pause and we'll get moving on. So I'll be shutting the water off. We isolated it only on one side because outside I have another shut off. So right outside this wall I've got a shut off. I'll go do that and come right back. Okay, the water's all shut off. Outside, I'm gonna bleed it system. There we go. It is off. That'll help remind me when I turn it back on. This is Newport brass, by the way. Extremely high quality. It's made here in Southern California. Here's their shower and their head. It's extremely durable and strong. This is solid brass, so definitely not something you want to buy with the kids. You know, you always think you want a super strong, thick metal, and not so if the kids are going to use it. You want that plastic, otherwise it's going to bash a hole right in your tile, so food for thought. Okay, so my housing body, this Whirlpool, does have the red button up here. That is to bleed the system. If you don't have it, not a big deal. You just twist this off, do it slowly, and it'll burp. So I'm going to bleed it. And the water just runs down into my bowl. So there's water dripping in there right now. That's it. Pressure's burped. Just a couple drops. And we'll go ahead and loosen her up. Put the camera down real quick and loosen it. I'll use 2 hands. Okay, I used 2 hands on my wrench. I'm gonna lower this now. You'll see a little bit of eruption. And then I'll put the camera down again to catch it. I just want you to see the process. Getting close. I went with this Whirlpool one because it has here where the fitting is. I went with a 1-inch, obviously the largest diameter, right, for better flow. It had a pressed metal insert, some metal threads. I had read some bad reviews. You know, reviews on both sides. Little eruption there. We'll get it cleaned up. We'll hit pause, and then I'll pull the filter out and show you. Okay, so everything is off. Here's the old O-ring and the new one. You can see if you stretch them out, they get the same size. One is not bigger than the other. I've read a lot of nightmares, and the plumber that helped put me this in, one of my friends, you know, he always reminded me, in case the old one gets stretched out and real thin and oversized, when you put it back in, it can create a little pinch or a gap, and it'll start leaking. You won't notice it right till the middle of the night when this whole thing has flooded your bathroom and got your nice wood floors. So always have a new one on hand, even if you don't use it. Then at least you have a brand new one to check your distance on. If you want to put it back in for $5, I'd rather just go with the brand new one. And then keep the old one if you don't have one. Now, I always keep one on hand in case I were to have to remove the filter. You could always put it back in without an element in a pinch, but at least you've got always a new O-ring. So I always get a filter and an O-ring together with a backup. And then this old one, I'll give it to the kids, make a slingshot, something, whatever. So I'll show you the element now. All right, continuing to show you, we'll pull the element out. And look at the brown water just dripping off of it. That's amazing. When I squeeze it, you can see all of the stuff that comes out. And just totally brown. Used to be as white as that right there. What a trip. So these filters are, gosh, they're worth their money to put on for sure. Here's the nastiest part, is always what's found in the bottom. So we'll pour this out and watch it pour. And right at the end, all that sediment, it's actually maybe some big parts in there. We'll pour a little more out. So here's some of the most noticeable. Some kind of goopy stuff. Not from the pipe. Feels like sap almost. No, not the grease that would be used to do the O-ring. It's a white, kind of milky. It goes down at the bottom there. There it is. I like the clear because you know. And alright, I'll throw the new one on and we'll be done. Right, and if you're watching this video, you have an idea of how they work, but generally the water comes down, fills the basin, is forced through the outside, which is the thicker 75 or 50 micron, then it goes through the inner, and then it comes into the center of the tube, and that down there on the bottom, the little well in the circle, you see it in there? That's where the debris, allows the debris to fall. And it travels up the center of the tube and back to your plumbing. So that should fit into the circle there, and it does. Come back over, get our brand new O-ring. If it's not greased, it should be lightly greased from the manufacturer. If it's not, throw a little lube on there. Make sure it sits in the channel just right. This one seems might be a little too big, so I'll go ahead and play with it real quick, turn it off and check the old one, and we'll go from there. We'll screw it back on. Alright, we had a good mistake to see happen. This generic O-ring, you can see when I push it down into the housing, it is just barely too long, maybe only a couple millimeters, and it causes that bulge. You could squeeze it in, but once it's up in the head, you're not going to be able to do that. So, you know, try with the Amazon stuff, doesn't always work. Go with the OEM Whirlpool one that's designed specifically for this housing. And leave it alone, baby. And it fits just perfect. manufactured for it, right? So this will have to go with the Whirlpool one. That's why it's always good to have the OEM stuff, just in case the aftermarket doesn't fit. So we'll twist this on and get it going. So I've twisted it back on, snugged it up. It's roughly in the same spot. So dry it totally off. Then we'll turn the water back on here, turn the water back on outside. We'll keep that faucet open to bleed the system of air. And then we'll hit our purge button up here to bleed the air out. And we'll check it. Water's back on, you can see it aerating, bleeding that air out of the system, let it run for a bit. There's a brand new filter, all nice and white. Check you got a good seal. The pressure's pushed your the burp, the little bleed valve, pushed it back up into position. Good tension, not leaking, good, seated well. Valve's totally open. Some people on these, they'll put an isolation valve this side and that. You know, it's a good idea if you don't have the shut off close by. And then we're just going to turn it on, we'll close it off and feel on the bottom for any leaks. I don't feel anything around the side, probably not going to have any issues. Come back on and check it in another hour, and then before I go to bed. Then it should be totally fine. The water is super aerated. With any new filter, I like to turn the water on. Most of the packaging says that, this one didn't, but turn the water on and and let it run for about 10 minutes out of a faucet or so. That'll give you at least 15 to 30 gallons to run everything through that filter and get the manufacturer element off it, any dust, before you start drinking it or bathing in it. All right, hope you had fun. Whirlpool, genuine Whirlpool O-ring. There we go. Only be buying that one again. All right, have a good day.